Hello everyone, Sarah Small here, and I'm so excited to be speaking with all of you today. I'm going to give you guys a second to hop on and make sure that all the tech side here is good to go. Okay, it looks like I'm live in the group. When you guys join, please let me know you're here and you're joining, listening live, or if you're listening to the replay. I am so excited to be here today for this autoimmune mastermind. This has been an incredible 30-day event that Allie has put together and put so much energy into, so I thank Allie for having all of us here. But I also have known Allie since elementary school, and it's really exciting to both be working in this autoimmune world together as adults. And the more allies that we have in our health, the better. So I'm happy to have Allie as an ally. Hi Alicia, hi Allie, glad you guys are here with me. So today I wanted to share a little bit of my journey that brought me here, go through some of my personal story and struggle with illness, because I think there's power in all of our stories. And then I'm going to dive into some of the physical manifestations of your limiting beliefs and traumas and how they show up in your physical body. Then I'll discuss empaths and your intuitive self and take you guys through a short quiz. Hope you guys like quizzes and some interaction. And then lastly, hi Nicole, I'll be teaching you some of the tools that I have found most helpful to protect energy and heal beyond just food on this deeper soul level. So I'd love to see where you guys are. Hey Sarah, where you guys are from. I know where some of you are from. I see some familiar names. And then what you're struggling most with in your healing today or most recently. What's going on in your life and your healing journey. And then please feel free to ask questions and comment as I'm speaking. I do have a plan, but I also really love to riff. So if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them throughout the course of this. I have a whole hour to be here with you guys. So hopefully we can get the questions answered and have an awesome discussion. So, Nicole's from Massachusetts. I have some family in Massachusetts, Nicole. Before we begin, I want to just close our eyes and just invite you guys to join me for a second to really center into this hour together, and just bring your hands to your heart. And again, you're welcome to close your eyes. And I want you to begin just by taking a really deep breath. Deepest breath of your day yet. And I want you to feel your heartbeat against your hands. Feel how every bit of you is alive today. Consider all of these autonomic processes happening in your body, all these little miracles happening right here, right now. And as you breathe in, I just want you to breathe in with this deep appreciation for being alive and for showing up today and for opening yourself up to healing. And with each exhale, I just want you to breathe out any expectations, any judgment, any critical thoughts. I'll be holding space for each of us to hear that which we most need to hear during this conversation. And I invite you to feel not only the beat of your own heart, but the energy of all of us listening live, listening to the recording today and every day in this online community, because even though we are not together, we still share this energy. We're coming together to heal, to learn, and to grow. And I think that is really, really amazing. So when you're ready, open up your eyes and release your hands down. Sammy's here. Hi, Sammy. And again, I asked if you guys could just let me know you're here, where you're from, what are you struggling most with, so we can chat about it. I'm going to dive into my story. So I'm going to try to do this briefly. It could be a very long story, as I'm sure most of your healing stories could be as well. I'm going to try to crunch it into like 5 minutes. But I want to transport you guys back to about 1999-ish, when I was in 7th grade. My parents got divorced, and I was the oldest of 4, and it was tumultuous. There was a lot of anger and a lot of resentment, and I stepped into this role of caretaker for my younger siblings because my parents were not emotionally available. And soon after that, I developed this debilitating stomach pain that would just make me curl over. And I was eventually diagnosed with stomach migraines. Often children manifest this migraine pain in their stomachs instead of their head. And they're usually stress related. So I was a pretty stressed out kid. Does anyone else feel that way? And I tried to be perfect at everything. And in high school, I developed this horrible back pain that I would come home from school, I would fall onto the floor, and I would cry. And I would beg my mom to just rub my back and try to wash this pain away, but it never let up. So I ended up seeing 17 doctors by the time I was 17, which led to this diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Do I have any other fibro people in here? Don't identify myself that way anymore, but it's certainly part of my healing story. So this was when I was diagnosed, I was handed this never-ending pot of narcotics. And when one stopped working, then my doctor would prescribe me the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And up until I was a senior in high school, I had taken all these different narcotics. And then that year, one day, I took so many Vicodins because I was in so much pain that at the homecoming parade, I passed out and I puked because I had taken too many Vicodins. I was taking these because I was in immense pain and nothing was, helping. So the next doctor that I saw was a rheumatologist. He prescribed me Lyrica and Cymbalta, which are two popular drugs for fibromyalgia still today. And I lost my appetite. I felt like I was in this black cloud, and I still hurt. The pain didn't go away. So in college, I said, screw this, and I was angry. And I stopped taking all of the medications, and I tried yoga, and it felt good. It didn't take away the pain, but it put me into a different place, one of peace. And I became a little addicted to yoga. Yoga could heal me. It could heal my mind. It could transport me to a different place. But the panic attacks were still coming, and then the pigment of my skin began to change, and I developed melasma combined with vitiligo. And then I figured I'll become a vegetarian. So fast forward 6 years into vegetarianism, and I was living in Chicago. Now I was in grad school, and I had eczema that made my skin so raw that I would bleed. My hands were bloody, and I would cover my hands in Band-Aids as I went to my grad school classes, praying that no one would notice that my hands were so raw and bloody from this eczema. My skin broke out in cystic acne all over my face, and every time I ate, my stomach would balloon open. And at that point, I finally saw a holistic practitioner in Chicago because something did not feel right, and I was diagnosed with celiac disease. Now, I resisted. I rebelled. I got drunk, and I ordered Domino's pizza. But that wasn't the answer either. I did that until it hurt too much, and then I finally stopped eating gluten because I didn't understand what autoimmune disease even was. So I stopped eating gluten, but that proved to not also really be enough to make me feel well. So I did a full elimination diet and discovered many other food sensitivities. So around this time, I was left with this little option for food, laundry list of food sensitivities, and I decided to reintroduce the meat and eat, clean, whatever that means, right? And I was doing everything right, or so I thought. I ate healthy, I exercised, I even meditated. So what else was I supposed to do? And I kind of threw my hands up at the sky, and I was like, why me, universe? And I totally fell into that victim state of mind. And then on Sunday, June 28th, 2015, I looked at my phone to find 13 missed calls from my family members. All of my family members. I decided to call my dad back first, and I called him, he picked up the phone, and he said, Sarah, Jordan is dead. And Jordan was my brother, and he was 2 years younger than me. And I broke down. I crumbled. I slammed my hand against the car window. I was devastated. It was an insurmountable loss. And Jordan committed suicide. And then the days and weeks and years to come have completely cracked me open. I was filled with grief, but for the first time, I let emotions in instead of pretending to be fine, because I was not fine. and I felt more authentically me than I ever had before. So through this grief, I found energy medicine, and I found the emotional side of healing. And I learned and I studied and I practiced healing my heart. And through healing my heart and allowing my brother to serve as what I call my spirit guide, I have found my deepest healing yet. So it has opened up this entire universe of potential and possibility for healing that I never saw possible. I thought it was only food and supplements. And it is in this space that transformation has truly occurred for me. And now, since then, I've experienced my fair share of stumbling blocks and challenges and crap, but it no longer defines who I am. And it also no longer gets swept under the rug. Instead, I let it surface, and I heal as I go. And I let myself be an imperfect human being that is also worthy of love and acceptance. So today, I just want to break down some of the ways this emotional and energetic side of healing is just as powerful as the food that you eat and the supplements that you buy and whatever the name is of the diet that you are on. Because this journey has shown me that I am my own greatest healer and that we must advocate for ourselves. No person is going to show up in our lives with that magic wand to cure us. But this work doesn't also have to be grueling or painful all the time. It can be filled with love and it can be filled with joy. So the first step is to release this victimhood and show up big for ourselves because we are all worth it. And I want to start to talk to you guys a little bit about limiting beliefs. Before I dive in there, I just want to catch up on some comments. It looks like you guys are saying hello. No talk of autoimmune diseases back in the 90s. Nope. Amen to that. Yeah, Alicia. Okay. So I've heard actually several other speakers mention, I've been trying to watch along as well, mention some limiting beliefs and because they have talked about limiting beliefs, I don't want to spend too much time today on examples, but a limiting belief is one that constrains you in some way. It's a story that you tell inside your head that may dictate who you are or how you show up in the world or how you treat yourself, how you treat other people, and even more. And here are a few that I personally worked through in my own healing. These were some of the biggest ones that showed up for me. I am responsible for everyone. The world is not a safe place. I am not worthy of love. I have to take care of everyone else before I take care of myself. And I don't deserve to feel healthy or happy. Okay? We also sometimes have underlying commitments. Have you guys ever heard of underlying commitments? They're a little bit different than limiting beliefs. So some examples of underlying commitments are, I'm committed to making things hard. I can resonate with that personally. Or I am committed to working hard. I am committed to a place of lack. I am committed to staying at home. I am committed to being the victim. When you have these underlying commitments, it's a lot like limiting beliefs in that you're not going to be able to create that shift and transformation when there's still that underlying commitment. Katie says, relate so much with your story of loss, best friend to suicide, mom passed suddenly to chronic illness. Katie, how has that shaped and transformed your autoimmune or chronic illness healing? Thanks, Allie. Okay, so what are some of your limiting beliefs, or have you ever considered any of your underlying commitments or hidden commitments as well? I'm going to take you guys through an 8-step process because I like things to be interactive. So I'm going to help you guys uncover maybe some more limiting beliefs and at least work through one of those with me today. And I'm going to provide an example as we go through this. So just 8 questions. The first question, and you guys can listen this time if you just want to listen. You can come back, do it yourself later, or you can do it this time with me as well. So, first question. What is the conversation in your head? What are the words that most show up for you? What is the story that you do tell yourself about your life or your illness or your current state of mind? That conversation might look like, my body feels broken. I'm not good at taking care of myself. I feel so sick and heavy and tired. I just don't think I'm ever going to get better. And I know I could be doing better, but I don't have energy. I put everyone else before myself, and I'm exhausted by taking care of everyone else, and so I don't have time for myself. That's just an example. There are actually a lot of limiting beliefs in there, but first I want you guys to figure out, like, what are the things you're telling yourself? What are the stories that you've created? And then step 2 is, within that story, what is the limiting belief? So again, there's actually a lot of limiting beliefs in what I just said, but let's just pull out one to work with today. And I'm going to pull out, I am responsible for everyone. Okay, do you guys see how that's a limiting belief? I am responsible for everyone. Once you have pulled out your limiting belief, and we'll just work with one at a time, that was step 2. Moving on to step 3, when did you first develop this belief? Go back into time. Do you remember a time when you started to think this way, or a time when you didn't think this way? So maybe you have at least an age range when you may have developed this belief. So for this, in my own life, my own body, I remember as like a preteen that I felt like I had to be the messenger between my mom and dad. And I had to make dinner, and I had to remind everyone to do their homework, and this all came before my own needs. So I was at a fairly young age putting other people before myself and becoming responsible for everyone else's happiness. So I want you guys to go back in time, try to find that root of when was this belief developed. And then 4, how has this belief served you? And this can be a difficult one because we don't automatically think that this belief has served us, because they're usually referred to as these negative, self-limiting beliefs. But what I'm telling you today is that it has served you in some way. It just might be a little undercover or backward. So, for example, I'm responsible for everyone. When I'm exerting all of my energy onto everyone else, fixing their problems, trying to make them happy, it distracts from my own pain, and then I get to avoid the depth of my true emotions, which may be scary. So can you see how that actually may benefit me in some way? So that's step 4. How is this actually serving you in some way? Step 5, what are the consequences of maintaining this belief? So in this case, I'm responsible for everyone. The consequences might be complete and total burnout, stress, exhaustion, feeling sick, losing sleep, not feeling fulfilled. What are the consequences of that limiting belief? Question number 6, step number 6 is this belief true? And when I work with clients, 99, maybe even 100% of the time, it's always not true. It's never true. So we need to find ways to disprove it so that our subconscious actually believes us when we say that it's not true. So, no, it's not true. And then how can I disprove this idea in my head that I am responsible for everyone? Well, partially universal law, right? That you're not responsible for everybody. But also, I can't control anyone else's actions, or everyone's actions, or my brother's actions, or my mom's actions, or my dad's actions. And therefore, I am only in control of my own response to the world and to my own actions, okay? So you are disproving this. Step number 7, question number 7 is, what would your best friend, the person you love most in the world, say to you if you told them your limiting belief? So I tell my friend, I am responsible for everyone. And what are they going to say? I think my best friend might say something like, Sarah, you need to put yourself first. I see you getting burnt out. You are worthy of self-care, and you are worthy of taking time outs and taking space for yourself to breathe. And it's just like those oxygen masks on the plane, right? You put yours on before you put the other person's on. So let's get you some self-love. Let's get you some self-care before you try to fix everybody else, right? And the last step, step 8, is what is a loving affirmation that you can replace with that limiting belief. So not only are we telling the subconscious that it is not true, why it is not true, understanding why it served us, but also the negative consequences of it, now we are adding or crowding out this belief with one that is more supportive and one that is more positive. So an example here would be, I am only responsible for myself. I am worthy of self-care. I am worthy of love, and I deserve to feel good. Okay? So how does that feel for you guys? That is my 8-step process for working through limiting beliefs. And again, I'm going to look at some questions. Been very stuck in limiting beliefs of unworthy of being loved and feeling abandoned, unworthy of health, not enough. Katie, totally relate. I would encourage you to take each of those and separately go through the 8 steps to see how you feel after working through it. This relates to something Alicia Michelle told me yesterday. Not my circus, not my monkeys. High five, I love that. How do you eliminate the health anxiety and fear that comes with very traumatic medical experiences? Oh, Diana. Okay, so that's a whole nother topic that we could go into. We have to break through the fear in order to do that. So the trauma may exist, and I would challenge you to ask yourself, have you allowed that trauma to surface, or did you allow that trauma to surface at the time that it happened, or did you feel like you pushed it away or pushed it under the rug as it was happening? Did you allow it to surface? Did you feel it? Because we're allowed to feel negative feelings. It's not that we have to be in like la la unicorn land all of the time. We are allowed to feel all of the negative emotions. It's just more a matter of, are we holding on to those things? Are we letting them manifest in our body? And I'll talk more about that as we go on, because if we carry it and we let it manifest, then it will show up in a physical pain or illness or whatever it may be. So I know I didn't completely answer your question, but I feel like we could do an entire hour session on that. All right. When you guys did this, if you were doing it along with me, maybe you just listened this time, did you feel it anywhere specifically in your body? And Diana, that actually would be a great thing for you to kind of scan your body and see where might I be holding some of this, these past traumas that are creating the fear and creating the anxiety. So just scan your body and see if there's anywhere that you feel like is giving you a little alarm and coming up for you. Because here's the next thing I want to discuss. As a practitioner, I have noticed a theme within at least the people who come to work with me, and it is that they are almost all empaths or highly sensitive people, HSPs. Empaths take on other people's emotions as if they are their own. And there is a little difference between HSPs and empaths. Empaths take on other people's emotions as if they are their own, and HSPs are highly sensitive to the energy around them. So you can see there's similarities, but also differences. So consider an empath picking up Sally's anger and Bill's back pain and Joe's toothache and Karen's stress and everyone's trauma around them. Holy freaking cow, right? So you're not only carrying your own stuff that maybe you haven't let surface and released, but also everyone else's. And that's heavy. I've personally experienced that in my body, and it feels like a huge burden. And it shows up in the body. So I want to ask you guys some questions now, and I want you to tell me how many you say yes to. There are, I think I have 10 total. And just let me know how many you say yes to, so you can kind of just put a tick mark on how many you're saying yes to. You guys are resonating with the empath. Yep. So this will hopefully be interesting for you. Yes, or it's more of a true or false than a yes or no. So true or false, you can't watch the news. True or false, you cry during TV shows, like easily. Yeah, true or false, you are the go-to person for people to vent to. True or false, you can only recharge by being alone. True or false, you are very self-sacrificing. True or false, you feel very spiritually inclined. True or false, you get very overwhelmed in crowded or noisy places. True or false, you love nature and animals. True or false, sometimes you just feel like you know something, or it's very obvious to you when someone is lying. And lastly, true or false, you are creative or a dreamer. Okay? So let me know in the comments of those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think I had 10. Out of that 10, how many did you respond true or yes to? I love to see where you guys are kind of at. And this is not an official quiz or official diagnosis by any means, but if you, let's see, Sheila, true, absolutely true, yes, mostly true. Kim got an 8, Nicole, all true. Jessie, 8, awesome. All 10, says Marina. So, all but 1, says Allie. If you responded, 9, says Nicole. Well, there's a lot of you guys here. Now you guys are coming out. Mostly true, true to all. If you responded yes to most of these, then you are probably an empath. What does that mean? It means that you take on other people's energy as if it's your own, but also that it's especially important for you to protect your energy. Create those strong, soulful boundaries. Be able to say no and decipher what is and what is not yours to carry. So I just want to tell you a little bit of a story about me as an empath. The night that my brother died, I had a panic attack. It probably, if there was a video camera in my apartment in Chicago, I would have looked pretty pathetic. It was strange. It came out of nowhere. I had no control over my body, and I just laid on the wood floor of my apartment, like shaking, trembling, crying in like this deep pain. And eventually I stopped crying and I went to bed. And I didn't know, but that was the night that my brother died. I didn't find out until over 24 hours later. I was at a yoga event. I was volunteering, giving some people some love. And all of a sudden I got this horrible stomach pain. And it was like, kind of like the stomach migraines I talked about, this kind of curling over pain where my boyfriend actually carried me to the car. Like, this was 2.5 years ago. I was not a child or anything. But he carried me to the car because my stomach hurt so bad. And that was when I looked at my phone, saw the 13 missed calls, called my dad back, and found out that my brother had passed away. As an empath, this has continued to happen to me, but I felt the energy of my brother's deep, deep depression and pain on Friday night. And then I felt the deep, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching pain of especially the combination of all my family members' grief inside of my stomach on Sunday. Crowded places are also a just perfect example of this, where for me personally, I get very overwhelmed in crowded places because I'm not sure whose energy I am picking up on or whose energy to take on. Ideally we don't take on anyone else's energy, and that's why we have to protect ourselves. But in the past, it's been like my body's out of control. Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I angry? Who am I gonna chameleon to in this room? And then it just turns into fear, and then that triggers fight or flight response and panic inside of your body. Has anyone ever experienced those moments of clear knowing, of the clairsentience, where you're taking on the emotions of people, or maybe the overwhelming crowded places? Shuba works around sick people. Yeah, so in that case, we want to put up this, and I'm going to actually tell you guys here in a second, how to kind of create this bubble or a shell or shield around our energy so that we don't take on, because it's not that you can't work with people who are ill, that's a beautiful career, but you don't want to be taking on all of their pain when you go home. Katie struggles with boundaries. Diana, absolutely, but I don't think I knew what was happening. And that's why I try to spread awareness about this, because I want people to understand that they're not going crazy. This is not a horrible thing, but simply there are ways to protect your energy. Alicia, yes, but now I know how not to, yes. Allie doesn't do well with crowds either. Michelle didn't know what that was. Crowded places. Feel like the emotional vampires convention is happening. I'm in the middle of it all. I totally resonate with that, Nicole. Okay, so if we don't protect our energy, let's talk about some of the consequences of that. So if you say, don't take time alone, you're someone who needs to recharge alone. If you don't take time to recharge those batteries by yourself, you may experience this chronic or intense fatigue in your body because you're never recharging. Emotional stimuli may also prevent you from falling asleep at night. And I'm sure we all know what lack of sleep does to your health and how it's related to illness as well. So it's the best way I can explain it is like, I love the energy vampires example, but it's like this heightened sense of awareness and overwhelm, and you're like, what the hell am I gonna do? So let's talk about some ways to protect your energy so that you can go out into crowds, so that you can work in a hospital environment, so that you can be around your large family and not feel completely drained and burned out. And obviously then there's consequences of that drain and burnout on your physical health as well. So, looks like you guys are relating to this. Yes, big time, crowded places, flare symptoms, struggle with boundaries, everything you're saying, I resonate. Awesome. Okay, so I want you to pick maybe like one of these that you want to go and try today if you haven't before. I have 7 ideas for you. So, first is to visualize, and I'm always really honest about this one. I always like to present it as a tool. However, for me, it's worked up to a certain point. And some people are really visual, and this will work beautifully for you. For me, it worked up until that point, and then I kind of looked for other tools because it just didn't seem like it was working to the extent that I desired. So you can visualize, and you can do this in several ways. The way I was taught by my mentor is to surround yourself in a shell. So it's going to cover your entire body, and oftentimes it's helpful to close your eyes to visualize this. And I always make my shell this golden shimmering light shell around me, and I want you to visualize it as being semi-permeable. What does that mean? It means that you can release negative energy, but that it's like it boings off the outer shell so that no negative energy can get in. So you visualize yourself in that. I also will send that visualization to, say, a restaurant I'm going to, and go put that shell around the restaurant or around the table before I get there. But if you want it to travel with you, you just put it around yourself. Second way to protect your energy is just simply meditation, and there are infinite ways to meditate. Meditation is a practice that I teach and that I personally practice, and has been immensely healing for me. Why does it help you protect your energy? Because when you sit down and you get still and you get clear, not only can you release some of what is not yours to carry, but you can also allow what you're truly feeling to surface within that silence and within that stillness. Hopefully that's making sense. So meditation is a beautiful practice for empaths. 3, salt baths, which I am obsessed with. I take a salt bath probably 6 days a week, maybe one day off. And I use just a plain unscented Epsom salt, and then I usually will add some essential oils depending on what kind of mood I'm in and what kind of protecting I need. And I take a salt bath. Not only is it cleansing and detoxing of any energy, anyone else's stuff you might be carrying, but also it is good for the root chakra and grounding or earthing, because you're using the earth to bring yourself back down too. Another thing that I do to protect my energy is, I was looking for my smoky quartz this morning and I couldn't find it. So smoky quartz is my favorite to do within the crystal family and universe, because smoky quartz is grounding, it's anchoring, it absorbs negative energy and grounds it back down into the earth. So as far as how to use a crystal, you can carry it around with you. I put them in my purse. Women, you might want to pop them in the bra. Men, pop them in the pockets. You can put them in your home. You can put them by your desk. I love to put a smoky quartz next to my laptop to also absorb EMF exposure. because I couldn't find my smoky quartz this morning, I wanted to at least show you guys an example. So this is actually a hematite, and it has very similar properties. So this is what it looks like. And again, similar properties, good for protecting and grounding energy and also absorbing or kind of magnetizing any negative energy around you. What are some protecting essential oils? I'm glad you asked, that's next. So 5 is essential oils, and I also have an oil tribe, Essential Oils for Autoimmune Disease, on Facebook. And I have 2 that I wanted to share with you guys. What are some other crystals similar to smoky quartz? Well, hematite and magnetite is another good one. I also really love, it's on my chair because I wanted to ground myself while I was talking to you guys, is black tourmaline is another one. But I just keep it down by my root chakra in order to stay grounded during this conversation. Oils. On Guard, and this is, I specifically use doTERRA, however you could make your own blend that would be similar to On Guard, or frankincense. So On Guard is the protective blend, so kind of makes sense, right? Protect your energy, protective blend. And then frankincense is known as the king of all oils and has a multitude of benefits that I use it on my skin, I use it in my diffuser, but both of these, when I want to protect my energy, I'll show you guys. I put a drop on 2 of my fave oils. I've never used brown tourmaline, no, Sarah. Yeah, this is our friend Frank, and I just put, because this is a precious oil, I just put 1 drop on my wrists. I rub my wrists together, and then I inhale through the nose, kind of cup your hands to inhale. So this is a hand diffuser. And you can take a few deep breaths there. And I like to just kind of wave, depending on how comfortable you guys are, I know. You can wave your arms around your space and aura in order to also kind of create that bubble, that shell that we talked about, but with the oil. So it's also surrounding you and you're getting that aroma around you. So that's how I personally use the oils. Frankincense Cartier smells like paint thinner. Have you tried this one? Yeah, oh yeah, you said that one smells lovely. Good. Do you need a carrier oil? So that depends on the oil you're using. Some oils are very sensitive to the skin, can be irritating to the skin. So you want to make sure that you have some education or support with your essential oils. Frankincense is safe to be used neat or undiluted on the skin. However, now there's research out that shows that oils are actually more effective and absorbed more efficiently into the skin. More is absorbed into the skin when they are diluted. So I recommend that you do dilute your oils, and they last longer that way with fractionated coconut oil or carrier oil of your choice. The Terra Frank smells awesome. Yep, I think so too. Okay, 2 more. So a mantra that I use to protect my energy is, let's just do it. Let's do it together. And this is another lesson for another day, but I like to tap my thymus when I do affirmations as well. So your thymus gland is control center and a big part of your immune system, lymphatic system, and it's like that hard plate on your chest. And so when you tap here, not only are you stimulating the T cells in your body, but it's like this connection from head and heart. And so I like to tap my thymus when I say my affirmations. To protect your energy today, we'll say what's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. And you just repeat, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. What's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. What's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. Guys, got it? Got the gist of that? Books on essential oils you would recommend. I have a book below me. I'm not going to totally dig for it. It's called The Essential Life. That's my favorite. It has everything. Like, the oils are alphabetized, and you can go look up the name of the oil and its properties. And then also, after the oils are alphabetized, then there's a whole section on the body systems. So you can go into the immune system and the respiratory system, and within that there are symptoms and diseases within that you might be using the oils for. In order to use compliant language, you can't say that it's treating any disease, but there are suggestions on how to manage disease or to boost or support the immune system. And then beyond that, there's like recipes for DIY at home and how to make cleaning supplies, how to use oils on children or babies and pets as well. So it's called The Essential Life, Sarah, and I'm happy to provide a link for that as well. I think it's available on Amazon and some oil websites as well. Awesome. Oh, Allie got it. Yay! That book is the best essential oil book. That's my personal favorite, and it really covers just about everything. Because I'm also it's too far away, just a total emotional healing nerd, I also highly recommend Emotions and Essential Oils. This is a spiral-bound smaller book, and it goes through every oil, and then its emotional healing properties. So, for example, wild orange is the oil of abundance. Lime is the oil for a zest for life. And you can use these for emotional healing and physical healing properties. Is the author associated with doTERRA? I don't think so. It's not sold by doTERRA. However, there are all the doTERRA oils in the book. Emotions and Essential Oils book is on my want list. Yeah, I highly recommend. Okay, so lastly, for protecting your energy, because I want to make sure we talk about one more topic today, again, these could all be our conversations, is to actually go get a healing or a cleansing of your energy. So this is something I offer. I do intuitive healing sessions where we clear out the chakras and then rebalance the chakras, and that can be another way to protect your energy, let go of what is not yours to carry, and start to align your energy with health. I want to read all of your comments. How do we talk to you one-to-one? I have a lot to say about autoimmune and trauma and healing. So above in the description, I gave you guys my personal email. So you guys are welcome to email me. And then at the bottom of my bio, there's also all the other ways to work with me or connect to my online communities as well. And Allie just posted my Instagram, and that's where I hang out the most, especially on Instagram stories. Can you talk about Ness? Yes, Sheila. I want to just give you guys an example of how some of these distortions in the energetic body manifest in the physical, and that'll be a perfect segue into Ness. If you guys don't know what Ness is, just hang tight. So, energetic healing. I also work as a bioenergetic practitioner, which has not been related to what we've talked about so far. But the energy body determines the shape and behavior of the physical body. I'm just going to repeat that again because it's really fascinating and I don't hear people talk about it very much. The energy body determines the shape and behavior of the physical body. Therefore, we need to also acknowledge and heal on an energetic level. So, if something is off emotionally and something emotionally disturbing, negative, I mean, it could be the smallest thing, but something emotionally was off in your body. You might not get knee pain right away, okay? But say it's fear. You got scared by a mouse, okay? And that fear maybe won't trigger knee pain. But say you got scared by a mouse, and then you got in a car accident, and then like XYZ, whatever, all this fear keeps popping up in your life. And all of a sudden you're getting more and more afraid of the world because all these things have happened that are creating fear inside your body. Well, then it's more like the icing on the cake, what's the word? Like when you're at the top, it's like topped off, right? And then you have that energetic distortion. So it's like energetic distortion, until finally you might develop a knee pain. Why I'm using the knee as an example is because knee pain is like fear of moving forward in life and feeling unstable, ungrounded, and insecure. I've been feeling very called towards getting some energetic work done, possibly Reiki. Yeah, Reiki's amazing too. And it could definitely help you move out some of that stagnant energy. Cherry on top? No, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what I was trying to remember. So I would just challenge us all to look back on our health journey and take inventory of what was happening in your life. What were you experiencing when you first developed illness? Or what might have been that straw that broke the camel's back for you? And it's like that, the fear that finally made it show up as a physical imbalance or symptom in your body that has happened over and over and over again. Yeah, you guys got my back. Thank you. So I'd love for you guys to reflect on that. Let me know if you see any themes in your life, or if you see any connections there. But also, these energetic disturbances show up physically. So here are some examples. One, you might have a pain show up in your left side or your right side. I know that masculine and feminine and those words, that verbiage is actually becoming outdated in the world we live in today. I'm going to use it because we haven't quite figured out a different word to use yet, but your left side is your feminine and your right side is your masculine, and innately, whether our gender is male or female, we have masculine and feminine energy. So for example, in my life, I have some pretty intense left side pain. I actually had jaw surgery, I have TMJ, I have a lot of left side pain, and it shows up on the left side often because, yes, there's some physical kind of imbalances in the way that my jaw is formed and shaped, but also I have a lot of maternal conflict. So feminine, maternal. If you have maybe a complicated relationship with your mother or father, or a man or woman in your life, it may show up on that side. So we have our left and our right. But not only is it men and women in our life, but also the I don't want to say attributes, but the general energies that also go along with these. So for example, if you suppress your creativity, the pain may show up on your left side because that is part of our feminine energy. Is that making sense? I didn't know about this left versus right. Yeah, so that's actually probably a better way to speak about it nowadays, is because it's not an actual gender, it's just an energy. So it's like this left side just kind of like left and right brain, holds specific attributes and characteristics, and then the right side has specific different ones. Ryan loves Ness. Yes, me too. Can't wait to work with you, Alicia. Okay, cool. So another way that the energetic disturbances show up physically in the body is through, let's say you have painful shoulders, like especially the space between your shoulder blades. Does anyone else have that? Diana, all my issues are on the right. So Diana, I would prompt you, I would ask you if, number one, is there any sort of like paternal or masculine energy that you have conflict with in your life? But also the right side is structure, it's tangible, it is the society that we live in. So maybe you kind of want to rebel against that as well. All on the right side. Maybe mine's left side, but I'm curious to see kind of where your guys's fall, more left or right. So painful shoulders, especially between the shoulder blades, could be an emotional, a physical manifestation of this emotional conflict, which is that you are carrying too much on your own. Marina, stress goes right between shoulder blades. So Marina, do you relate to that? Because it's emotional and it's physical. It doesn't have to be one or the other, and it can certainly be a combination. Like I said, left side of my jaw pain. Yes, there's some structural issues, but then I also really resonate with the conflict within the feminine energy. Say you have osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is associated with a thinning of life force, of feeling helpless or hopeless. Inflammation of your joints. Inflammation is like hot and fiery, and it's this hot or angry feeling that wants to be expressed. So think of it also, say you have inflammation in your wrist. It's this hot, angry feeling that's trying to come to the surface, and not because your body is fighting you, not because your body is angry at you or it is against you, because it's trying to get your attention. So can we see those messages and take them more as cues and informations and support than instead of getting angry? Left side, left side, left side. if you see is on left side, does this correlate to creativity, mom, and dad stuff? So it would be feminine, which is mom or creativity, but then there's also many other aspects of this too, Shuba. Lefty. Okay, so another example, rheumatoid arthritis, RA. Similar, where it's the inflammation, and it's oftentimes this, and again, this is all generalizations, themes within working, okay? This is not the end-all, be-all. But rheumatoid arthritis can be repressed anger. It can be becoming resentful or even bitter about something. Listening to our bodies rather than hating on it. It fights for us daily. Yes, your body loves you. It supports you. Muscle pain. Does anyone else? I also experience muscle pain. Do you guys experience any muscle pain? Pain is always saying something to us. It is sending us a message, and oftentimes that message is repressed feelings of fear, guilt, or an aching for something. A big change in your life, inner resistance or conflict, or constricted emotions. So you're in the state of constriction, so think muscle, pain, tightness, you're constricting instead of allowing yourself to flow. I've heard Hashimoto's is often repressed voice. Yes, so that would be related to throat chakra because it's in the same energy center as the throat chakra. And oftentimes that is self-expression. Can I speak my truth? Am I muffling my voice because I'm afraid of being heard or afraid of how people may respond to my truth? Okay. Cancer. Cancer cells are rebellious cells. They are related to feelings of isolation, of loneliness, of a lack of love or companionship, of immense stress, or deeply repressed feelings. So those cells are rebelling and they're like, hey, we're trying to be heard, or this stress is too much for the body to handle, and we're trying to get your attention. We're rebelling here. What about gastric issues? Oftentimes digestion is related to how you digest your surroundings and the things around you. So is it easy for you to come to grips with reality? Or is there something or multiple things that have happened in your life that have been really hard to just take in and accept and process? So oftentimes it's a hard time processing different aspects of the life. Decoding the Human Body Field. Yes, I have that book right behind me on the bookshelf on the yellow shelf because my books are color coded. That's a wonderful book as well. It explains the whole NES software. Last one I'm just going to share is fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia pain is this overall chronic pain that people experience that's not completely understood, but on the emotional level, it's often related to not feeling good enough, to this need to keep pushing, to get better, to being image or self-conscious, being resistant to facing responsibilities, pushing for success, in a deep fear of failure and what would happen if you were to fail, and then that feeling again of like the weight of the world on you. I freaking love that you have them color-coded. Yeah. Someone Instagram DM'd me the other day and told me I should also put them by height, but I don't know if I am going to do that or not. After working with you for the first 21 days program, I now ask my body what it is trying to communicate. Then I send it love. This routine helped me recover from the flu. I'm still work in progress. Amen, Nicole. I love that. So beautiful. So I'm curious if you guys relate to any of these. You've kind of been commenting along and answering. And the root or the work that I do is really about getting to the root of all of this, peeling back the layers to that is the most authentic of you, and so that you can come forward and live in love instead of fear. So I'd love to take some questions, and while you guys are, got 5 minutes for any questions, and Ness, I just want to briefly explain. So Ness is a company that I have been trained through, and that's how I became a bioenergetic practitioner. I work with clients to scan their body field, which is talked about in that book that Ryan mentioned in his comment, Decoding the Human Body Field, and it is based off of thousands of years of practice and research, but more specifically 30 years of Peter Fraser's research. And he used to teach in schools of acupuncture in Australia, and he decided to take the energy meridians in the human body field and actually scientifically prove it and map it. And so what he has done now is proven these meridians in our body, and the system that I use with clients one-on-one is a scanner that plugs into your computer, and you put your hand on the scanner, and then it'll send me, as your practitioner, a full makeup. It's very visual. If you're a visual person, you will love this. There's about 7 or 8 different screens that show your energetic drivers, the way the energy flows in your body, energetic stars, which are related to autoimmune conditions, mind-body imbalances. And what it's doing is it's taking a ideal energy field of a healthy person. Again, we don't know exactly what that entails, but it's comparing your energy, your energy field, the human body field, to that one. And it's finding any sort of distortions, things that are off. And then those things show up in the screen, and the beautiful part about it is that it also prioritizes the way that your body wants to heal. Because like I said, the energy body impacts and dictates the physical body and the way that our body looks and the way that our body feels. And so we work from this, we work from like this outer shell inward. So we start with your big field aligner, which is the combination of 3 different axes, including the Earth's axis that we are on, in order to ground yourself and ground your energy. And within then that alignment, that the body can work more optimally. And then we go into the next layer and the next layer, and we find where maybe the heart has an energetic distortion. Then we look within the heart, well, which valve or which aorta within the heart is actually has this energetic disturbance. And is it a physical pain that you're experiencing? Maybe you have a heart condition, or is it an emotional weight that you are carrying within your body? So it identifies where you are holding all of these emotional or limiting beliefs, traumas, etc. within your physical body. Incredible. Yes. Have you posted on your blog the links to the biophoton articles, Allie? Oh, that's a question for Allie. I was going to say, nope, I haven't done that. All right. Did I miss any questions? For anyone skeptical, there is so much science supporting the notion of the electromagnetic body and our susceptibility to energetic interferences. Yes. And what is it called? Kirlian photography is another beautiful way to see the human body field photographed. Again, if you are someone who needs that proof, if you're a very visual person and a scholar and you want that science, look up Kirlian photography as well. And then also, and I can't remember the name of this right now, but they're like the water experiments. I can't remember the name of the guy who did it, but they're water experiments that show that when someone expresses this deep feeling of love, that the water has a specific structure to it. And if you send to the water this deep feeling of hate, the structure of the water will actually change. So it's showing us how our emotions impact the energy around us, and then as an empath, how you may be picking up those emotions within the space that we inhabit as human beings on this earth, and then taking them on as your own. So there's so many layers to this, but post some links, Sarah. Thank you, Allie. Photography, Kirlian, Kirlian. I believe that's how you spell it, Kirlian photography. All right, we are Masaru Emoto. Yes, thank you, Sarah. That is the man who did the water experience. Look up on YouTube because the videos of it are amazing. There's other ones you can look at, different study, different person who did this, but they take sand on top of a flat surface, and then they bang different sound frequencies, and the shape of the sand will form into these like rings that are very perfect based on the frequency of sound. So part of what I do in healing sessions is use sound healing as well. Are the videos legitimate? You know, Sarah, you can go look for yourself, but I would say yes, and that I think we should all be our own kind of advocates and researchers and go and find your truth, seek your own truth, go find what works for you, and take and leave what does or does not serve you and what does or does not help you in your healing, because we're all so unique and so individual. And today I just wanted to share with you some of the tools that have helped me most along my healing path. So I want to leave you guys with this, two things. First, Marianne Williamson, Course in Miracles, says, surrender means the decision to stop fighting the world and start loving it instead. And I think that is a beautiful perspective to take in our entire healing process. And then also, Irish poet John O'Donohue wrote, a blessing is a circle of light drawn around a person to protect, to heal, and to strengthen. So I wish you all blessings along your healing path, and may you find your inner healer and activate your intuition for the deepest clarity that you can find in your healing. So it is. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll actually be back again to host a live guided meditation, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Have a great day.